So I was just gonna do an oil change on my 1967 Ford 3000 tractor. And this is the kind of thing you should probably do about every year. I think the manual that I have says every 150 hours or every 300 hours. It's been a lot longer than that. We'll see what the oil looks like. The first thing to do, obviously, is to open the oil cap to let some air into the system so the oil can come out. And this tractor has two engine compartments. The one on this side has access to the battery and the radiator shutoff and the fuel line, that kind of thing. And back in here, you can maybe see that, is the oil cap. And I will just open that up and set the cap to the side. Once again, that's just so the air can come into the system and the oil can leave. And then on this tractor, it's a gas engine, and this is actually the oil filter. This is the oil filter housing, and I'll pull that off and the filter lives inside of it. And dipstick is down here. You can see there's a little bit of leaking oil that's come out from around the oil filter. And then down here below, right down here, is the oil plug. This big old 1.25 inch plug. I just went and bought this $35 wrench to try to get this plug out. We'll see how it goes. Then once the oil is mainly drained out but not completely drained out, I'm going to loosen up the oil filter housing here. Figured out a way to keep this thing from leaking. It just always has some residual oil up in there in the filter. And then the filter looks like this. You've got the filter right here, and then you've got a gasket, and I'll go ahead and replace both. Down at the bottom here, there is a rubber gasket, and I'm going to pop that off. Yeah, this one looks like it's in pretty good shape, but I'm just going to place it. There's the rubber gasket, and your replacement filter comes with two of these guys, a big one and a small one. And then up on this end of the filter, right here, it looks like there's a little paper gasket, which is pretty shot. But that paper, yeah. Go ahead and see if I can replace that guy. There's a new one on here. Looks pretty good. that over the filter housing. Okay, then the next thing is to put the spring back on here, and then put this new rubber gasket down the shaft. Alright, that guy's all ready to go with the new filter. Before I put the filter back on, I'm just going to clean this up just a little bit so it gets a good seal if there's any crud in here. A little bit. The gasket around the filter housing, and I thought I would screw it in place just a little bit and then slip the gasket over the housing. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so there's a little gap in there. Gasket is in place. Cannot believe it. Tighten this guy up. I love this old tractor. It's got like really nice like 3/4 inch bolt, and this one down here is actually 1 1/4 inch. Nice even non-metric settings. Kind of bulging out down there. I'm gonna loosen that up. Try to get a little better. Gasket in place, like a total miracle, and I'm just going to tighten it up. Just going to go back to my drain plug. It's got a little silicone gasket on there, but I do not have a replacement for that, so I'm just going to hope that that silicone keeps on giving. That's for 1 1/4 inch, and just don't have one of those. Just crank down on it, hope for the best. That was not leaking. Of all things on this tractor, that actually wasn't leaking. Tight. Next thing is just to fill it with oil. And then the last step is just to fill it with oil, and I'm just using 30 in here, which is recommended as a pretty good heavy duty tractor oil. And we'll see how much it takes. I'll put in about 4 quarts and check the dipstick. So that's 4 quarts oil I just put in, and then I'm going to check the dipstick and see where we're at. My guess is that it's going to take more than that because that pan is like really, really full. And actually we're getting close, just a couple more quarts. After running the engine for a minute, I'm just going to check the dipstick one more time. And I think we will be, let's see where we're at actually. A little bit low. It's actually down low. Yeah, it's going to need a couple more quarts. So a couple of quarts went into the filter, and I'll just have to top it off so that it's running good.